Hi guys, it's Uldouz and welcome to the Uldouz Show. Today I have a super special guest. His name is DJ Paul from 36 Mafia, and he accomplished a lot of big things. He even won an Oscar, which is so amazing. And thank you so much, DJ Paul, for joining me today. I'm so excited that you're on my podcast show.
Anytime, Ulus, anytime. You know, we've been family, so yeah, anytime. I'm here.
Yeah, so I know you for like I don't know how many years, and like you've always been so cool and so humble and so down to earth. Like in my head, I was like, oh my god, you won like an Oscar and all these things. Like how was that to even like win an Oscar? Like it's like so rare, and then you're one of the people that like won one. Like how was that whole experience?
Man, it was crazy. When we first got nominated, I didn't even know what an Oscar was. I knew what it looked like. But I didn't know how you won it, what you do to win, and what it represented. I didn't know none of that.
Yeah.
So, I Googled it once. Juicy called and told me we was nominated. I Googled it and I called him back and I was like, what? I was like, we nominated for the gold, man. That's what we called it. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, damn. And then, fast forward later, we win it. And I was like, oh, wow. It was crazy. I still don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? And it's sitting right over there. I still don't believe it. I look at it every day and I still don't believe it.
Yeah, and then the best part is like, oh my god, we won a gold man. Yeah, like we got nominated for gold man. What the hell
Yeah,
is a gold man? Yeah.
yeah.
the
It's a
whole the whole
crazy.
scenario is funny. You should totally like make a movie about that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do. And it was a blast, man. We a life changed dramatically, drastically. Well, the fucking word is it changed majorly after it happened. So it was cool.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. And like as far as like rap and everything, like is there anything new that you're working on now, or like what exactly are you getting into when it comes to like music and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I'm still producing other people. I just produced some stuff for the game for his new album coming out, and Illmatic, and yeah, a lot of different people. And finally started back working on some stuff for myself. These last few days, I've been in the studio working on some stuff for myself, and just brought out a single called Riding Clean. Got out a single called Scary Gary that's about to go gold independently, which is
Wow.
major solo. So I ain't never had nothing like that happen before. And yeah, that's it, man. I'm excited about the new stuff I'm working on for myself because I'm always working on stuff for other people, and I never really get a chance to sit down and do something for my fans, for me. So that's what I've been doing here lately.
And I think what's so cool about you, and maybe a lot of people don't really know about that, but you're like a major entrepreneur. Like you major like real estate investor, and you're hardcore into like buying properties and all that good stuff. Like I think it's so cool because a lot of people, they just like put people like, oh, he's a rapper, or he's an artist, or she's on Instagram, or he's all doing this or that. But it's like so cool to see that your hands are in so many different projects and that you're
Yeah,
doing so many different things. So can you talk about how like you even wanted to do other things than just being an artist?
I grew up watching my dad. My dad owned a pest control company, and from time to time he would buy different little houses in the hood that he would fix up and rent out. But the difference between me and him is he would hands on like fix shit himself. Like I remember being a kid, seeing him, working on plumbing and stuff in these houses in the projects and shit. So yeah, I would say I saw him doing it, and when I was young, and it just made me want to do it because you don't really want to. A lady told me this a long time ago. This is a good piece of advice. A lady told me, she was like, "You always got to have 7 different hustles." I don't know who picked the number 7 or whatever, but she was like, "You got to have 7 different hustles." And I was like, "Yeah, that's the truth. Like, you don't want to have all your eggs in one basket, especially music, because it's such a shaky basket." So even though we sold millions of records, we good on that, but I still like to have other forms of income because we went from selling millions of CDs at when CDs was $16.99 to it going to streaming, which is, less than a penny.
Wow.
So, like you always just got to prepare for shit like that to happen. And just, I always have different forms of, like the lady said, income coming in. So that's what I do,
Mhm.
buying different real estates and stuff like that. And got the restaurant finna open up. So, yeah, got to.
I know the restaurant stuff is so cool. You like hit me up. You're like, oh, like, no, you actually said it on story, but I feel like you said it to me. But I hit you up, and I was like, oh my god, congrats! That's so amazing. Like, what exactly is this restaurant about, and like, what kind of food, would you expect like going there?
It's a Latin restaurant. It's we haven't did the menu yet. The thing that I sent you, or the thing that I posted, and I
Yeah,
sent.
I keep saying like, that you said it, but it's like I just
Yeah,
saw it on your story.
yeah, that thing that I posted on my story is
Yeah.
it's for people that's trying to get a job, but I wasn't really posting it
Mhm.
to tell people to come sign up to try to get a job there. I more was posting it because we've been working on this restaurant since 2015.
Wow.
So few of my friends know, I didn't never post nothing about it. Here and there, I hint toward it. I post like a picture of the outside when it was all covered up, and it just had like pictures of margaritas and tacos and stuff like that. So I just posted that, and I was just like, prepare. So I just kind of slowly, like, kind of hint toward it, and this was the first real post that we did about it finally being ready, because we
Yeah.
went through a lot of permits and permit issues, and we got ready to basically kind of open at the top of 2020, like February 2020. This was before we even knew what COVID was. And man,
Hmm.
God, the city was giving us hell with the permits, and then we ended up not opening. So now we're gonna be open, after the pandemic for the most part. It was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, no, like I didn't know it was going on for so long, but that's so cool. Like you're finally opening it, and then like I guess would it be like happy hours and stuff too? Because there's margaritas or
Yeah,
like
yeah, for
yeah,
sure,
yeah,
sure. And on the weekend, we're gonna stay open to 2 in the morning. I'm trying to get it so we can do that every day, but for now, we're gonna just do it on the weekends. And I guess if everything going good, then we'll try the weekdays.
No, yeah, that's like it's super cool. I always wanted to get into the restaurant business, but it just seems so hard and there's so many factors to it. So, with you doing that, like, because you got to get employees and the cook and the, license for alcohol and, all the permits and yada yada. So, like, how was that the reason why it took so long, or was
Yeah,
it just, yeah?
yeah, because we end up like, so the restaurant is in Beverly Hills.
Hmm.
So Beverly Hills was like, this wood, they approved everything.
Hmm.
So it's like, this wood don't fit the aesthetics of Beverly Hills, and these floors don't fit the aesthetics of Beverly Hills, blah blah blah, and all that.
Yeah.
So we had to get get things that they felt that felt good with the city, felt good with the city. So yeah, that's what the law and the permits was hell, man. But it was, like I said, man, it was a straight blessing.
Yeah. No, I could totally imagine. Like, thank God it didn't happen in the pandemic. That would have been like, well, like when COVID just hit. I guess
Uh,
we're still supposedly in a pandemic, but it feels like everybody kind of just forgot about it. Like it's like
yeah,
I have no idea what's going on anymore. But I was just always curious on like what is the craziest thing that ever happened to you, like within your whole like career?
man, I had a bunch of 'em, man. We had a bunch of situations where we almost, died, and car wrecks and crazy stuff on the road. So, man, it's been a bunch of 'em, man. Tons, tons. Because I've been doing this for 31 years now. So I've
Wow.
I've seen it all. But I said one of the scariest things was when we was going to do Sipping on Scissor song, and
Hmm.
we was driving through the snow. My driver was driving, me and Juicy was in the back sleep. And the car ran off the road into the oncoming lane, and there was a fucking rig coming and all these cars, and then our car stalled out. It wouldn't start up like on some TV shit, like you know. It was,
What?
so I jumped out of the car and started running. Man, just jumped out. The driver stayed in there trying to make this motherfucker go, and it finally crunk up, and he took off into the middle of grass part, and the truck zoomed back. I was like, oh man, that was crazy.
So
That's
wait, did the driver survive or what happened to him?
huh?
Did the
Yeah,
driver survive? Oh,
yeah.
okay, thank God.
It started up right at the last minute.
Oh my God. I was like, it sounded like he just like went off the cliff or something. I was like, oh my God, did he survive?
Yeah, he went in the middle part, in the middle grass, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy. I always remember that one because that was like that was pretty scary. Cause
Yeah.
that snow, yeah, it would have been hell. But I told his ass though, I was like, look, dude, I was like, don't be driving fast because like when you go to the bridge, it ain't nothing up under the bridge, so it's gonna always be more icier because ain't no ground below it. And that's what he did. He hit that fucking bridge, and that motherfucker started spinning everywhere.
And you told him this like right before this actually happened or
I told him that like earlier
in the
in
day?
the trip, in the drive. I don't know how soon before it
Yeah.
happened, but it wasn't that far before it happened when I told him.
Do you think like you had some kind of like greater power or something that was kind of telling you to tell this guy that to try to like protect you from that happening or like what it's such a
But
random thing to like think of to say and then it actually happens, you know?
yeah, I would just tell his ass, I know these niggas be high. And I was like, look, like don't fucking kill
Funny.
us. Because
Yeah.
that's what I would pay my homies to drive for me, when say for instance, if somebody wanna borrow some money or something, and they're like, Paul, let me borrow some money. I'll be like, look, you can borrow these keys, drive me down to New Orleans. I got a concert or something. And that's what I do. So they weren't professional drivers, they're just homies.
Oh, I see. So you're just like, oh, please just be careful. And they're like
Yeah.
messing it up. Yeah. So like with that like being said, do you feel like it's hard for you to keep like the kind of same people that you grew up with or have they been around or do you feel like it's been kind of hard to keep the same people around because of your success or like how has that been?
Yeah, I'm still cool with most of my homies from back in the day. One of them I talk to them every night, every
Yeah.
day. Like two of them I talk to them every night. They live back home. But yeah, I'm still cool with them. I don't let them drive for me.
Yeah.
I
Just like, no
fly
thanks.
everywhere. Except if it's like a quick trip to Vegas or something. Sometimes I fly, sometimes I drive. But nah, I don't let nobody drive for me no more.
No, no, I don't think it's a good idea. You're just like, no thanks.
Mm-mm.
So like that was the scariest thing, but like what is the like funniest or crazy kind of thing that ever happened? Like that you would say?
I'll tell you one thing. I would put that one right up there with funniest. Because I put it like this, man. Like anything that's dangerous and could have killed you, if you survive it,
Mhm.
it's gonna always be some humor in it.
Yeah.
Because even with that, a lot of times I tell that story, man. We laugh so hard, man. We laugh so hard because the fact that the damn car stalled out like on TV, and he was looking at the rig, and he was the rig was. I was like, this was some straight TV shit. And then at the last minute, the rig, yeah. I was like, oh God. But I
Yeah.
don't. There's a bunch of fun ones, man. There was, like I said, it was near death situations, and yeah, it was survived a long time ago. We got into it with these dudes at the skating ring,
Mhm.
and and the security and well, it wasn't really no security. We was our own security, but it's like flashlight cop guys there or whatever. They took us to the manager's office, and that's where they locked us up in there. And then the kids stopped beating on the door. It was like 900. There was like 6 of us. They stopped beating on the door, and I told the dude, I was like, "Look, uh, either you can call the police and get us up out of the situation, or we prepared to get ourselves out of the situation, if you know what I mean."
Yeah.
so so he was like, "No, don't do that. Don't do that." Because Crunchy was so ready. That was the reason why they didn't drop us, because they tried to, they act like they was gonna run up on us. And
Mhm.
then Crunchy showed them something that made them change their mind. So you know, we all was ready,
Yeah.
because I was out of town. We was in this little small town. So the fucking manager picked up the phone and called the police, and he just froze. And he looked at me and he said, "The phones are dead." I was like, "What?" I was like, "How is the phones are dead? Like, what, they climbed up on a pole or something and cut the lines?" Like, once I was like, "Dude, get to," I was like, "You know what? Don't even worry about it. We'll take
Yeah.
care of this. We finna go out here." And we got out on our own. And the police eventually came, but we was scooting by then. We was gone. Thank God we
Yeah.
left. Got there.
What the hell? Like, police is always taking forever. I feel like you just like, oh, police, get here now, and they're like, oh, okay, we'll be there. Like, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, damn it! Like, you
They,
always got to figure out how to do shit on your own because it's like you never know when these guys are gonna show up. You know?
yeah, you got to be prepared on your own, man. Like a
Yeah.
motherfucker, we was. You
Yeah.
know,
And like, what do you think? Like, do you think like people try to do stuff more now because they're like, oh, maybe we can get away with it because, you are who you are? Or like, do you feel like it just kind of people back off naturally?
now I don't have no situations no more. That's when we was young and we was wild. But no, these days, man, knock on wood. Hopefully, I never do. But
Yeah.
yeah, we don't have no situations these days. You know, we OGs now. People look at us different at this point. When
Yeah.
you're a young rapper, everybody, you know, they look at you a certain way. But when you become an OG, they don't really look at you like that no more. They look at you like, you know, like a more like a king.
Yeah. Well, like when I look at you or think of you, it's just kind of like, oh, he's an entrepreneur. Like I don't even really necessarily think of you as like, oh, just a rapper or this
Yeah,
and
I don't
yeah.
consider myself a rapper at all. You know, I'm more a producer than a rapper. I haven't put out a rap song in so long, but
Yeah.
I'm more of a producer and, like you said, an entrepreneur than a rapper. I don't even like being called a rapper, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's like I think it's like weird because it's like you do certain things, but then you could do so many other things. It's kind of the same situation for me. Like I feel like you do one thing, but it's not the only thing you do, and people they just kind of like put you in these brackets, but like really you're doing like a million different things, and they don't really understand that, right?
Yeah,
Like, but it's like in my head when I think of you, I'm like, oh, entrepreneur, like he has all this real estate and he got all this stuff going on. It's kind of like you already did everything and it's already
yeah,
like in the background kind of thing, you know?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, man, did it all. It's trying to do more. I more
Yeah.
want to focus on doing more traveling now, man. You know, like, but not just for concerts, just more traveling to go see places.
Oh, yeah, me too. I've been like literally like looking at Instagram and all these like travel pages and just
Yeah,
like daydreaming about like going all these places. Like, and then in my head, I'm like, when can I go? When is it safe? Or like, I mean, safe wise, but like the time, like with work and everything, like when can I go and just get out of
yeah.
here? Because
It
once
ain't
I leave, I want to be gone for like months and like just travel, you know?
Yeah, it ain't the time now. I tell you that much.
Yeah, and especially now in the stupid war now, like oh my God, like you guys, like we just had COVID and we still got it and it's not over yet or whatever is happening. I don't even know. And then to top it off, now is a war to like make things more like uncomfortable, and bad for the people. So it's just crazy. Like I just wanted to like go back to normal, you know?
Yeah, I
Like
was being I did a post where I was telling people to you know, holler at me to book a show, because I was supposed to be in Dubai I was supposed to go to Dubai this month
Yeah.
for just on vacation. And man, I canceled it uh, weeks ago, but way before the war. But
Yeah.
I'm so glad I did because I even though they ain't fighting over there, I just don't want to be nowhere outside of this country right now. And I
Yeah.
don't Doug, I don't want them to be like, man, look, you can't fly, and man, all this other shit, you gotta stay here, or any of that shit, and COVID, like you said, still ain't gone.
Yeah.
They raising the mask mandates this week out here, so you ain't gonna have to wear the mask no more. But I'm still gonna wear mine.
It's
I'm
just crazy to me. Like there's just so many things going on, and on top of that, it's like you're adding this war to it. Like it's just like enough already, you know? Um, but yeah, I wish people would just get therapy instead of like, creating wars. Just put them in like a couples counseling or something,
Yeah,
like, hey, you guys
it's
sort it out.
yeah, it ain't even about that though. What it's about is money and power.
Yeah,
Money and power.
unfortunately,
Yeah,
it just sucks. Like, and then all of us are like in between all this BS, like, just like,
yeah.
oh god, stop it already. But speaking of like laws and all the money and power and all that stuff, I'm in the I'm in the process of like changing the law against hack leak crimes of private images and videos. And right now, these hackers, they're getting sentenced as someone who's committing a hack crime and not someone who's committing a sex crime, but they're basically doing digital rape and online sex trafficking and all that kind of stuff. And it's a multi-billion-dollar business. And it's just crazy to me that there's no laws against this, since there's like a revenge porn law against one person doing this to another person, but there's nothing against one person doing this to hundreds and thousands of women or underage girls or boys or men. Like it happens to everybody. Like nobody can go, unseen when it comes to this territory, right? So what do you think about these laws and like the laws being so outdated and not updated with technology, basically?
Man, I would have to. I saw you was doing that. I would have to before I could really answer it. I would have to read more about it. I had to. Hopefully they figure out a way to, to get it done. But I would have to read more about it to see what's all involved with it. I do see a lot of signs everywhere now about sex trafficking.
Hmm.
Like that's everywhere now. Like I just went and did a concert in Texas, and in the bathroom, in the men's bathroom, obviously it's in the women's too.
Yeah.
But in the men's bathroom, they got stickers that they just put on the windows. I mean, on the mirrors. I'm sorry, that says, "Do you need help? Sex trafficking, human trafficking,
Hmm.
blah blah blah. It's a crime. Call this number or do this or do that." They had like some stickers saying like a little secret way. I think you probably could go somewhere in the airport and get help or whatever it was. I didn't really read it like that, and I was like, damn. And they just put them in there because I travel like every weekend and I never seen them in there. But yeah, I
Wow.
see stuff about the human trafficking everywhere now these days. It's like billboards and shit everywhere.
It's crazy because there's like the physical, like in person sex trafficking, but then there's also like women or little girls or little boys, they're being filmed on camera while they're being trafficked and then later distributed online. And then they're also profiting that way. So it's not just like, oh, they're being trafficked and this person is exploiting them, personally, but they're also like a bunch of people exploiting them on top of online exploiting, and it's just like it spreads everywhere, so it always lives online on the internet, right? So it's just crazy to me that these people are like not being held accountable for what they're actually committing, the kind of crimes that they're committing.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's a crazy world that we're living in because the laws are just so outdated, the justice system is outdated. and like, they don't really keep up with technology. But if it's a hacker, for instance, obviously they're gonna know everything there is to know about technology. They're a hacker. So they're updated on their, situation, but the laws aren't. So the law needs to like kind of update with the technology right now, and they're like kind of off when it comes to that.
Yeah, technology is just moving so fast. It's
Yeah.
hard to keep up. I would imagine for them because it's moving fast every
Yeah.
second.
And like, you're in the public eye. Do you ever get like people like hating and trolls? And what do you think about like cyber stalkers and like all that kind of stuff? Like all these people that are following, and you know, like, are they ever harassing you or giving you a hard time?
No, no, I never got into that.
You
Not
never
one.
get haters or anything?
Huh?
You never get like haters or anything like that?
One or two here and there on social media. One or two here and there. That's quick, but that's part of being a entertainer, especially a rapper. You're gonna always have haters. But no, I haven't hit none major. Just some here and there,
Yeah.
but not a lot though.
Like when you started out, was there like more haters and like now it kind of died down because you're like more established or something?
No, not really, because we were so man, we were so deep with our crew in Memphis. Like everybody was basically with us. Like we had all the hardest dudes from that side, from the north side, the east
Yeah.
side, the south side, the west side. So yeah, we eventually fell out with a lot of those guys, and those guys became our enemies. But other than that, no, not really.
Oh, okay. Well, I
I
was
was
like,
one.
oh, okay, that like you got like hardcore enemies instead.
Yeah, protected by God.
Yeah. No, but that's just funny the way he like said it. I was like, oh, okay. But no, but that's like, it's so crazy because the whole world, like, I know I experienced it, so I'm like, okay, anyone that's successful, I know, like, pretty much experienced some kind of like hate or people like, getting involved. But something else that I've been talking to a lot of people about is that, you know, people think that people are successful, but it's kind of just like happens overnight or whatever. I don't really understand where they're getting this idea from, because anyone successful I know like works day and night or works so hard to get to where they're at. And like in your case too, I mean, I know you're a really hardworking person. Like, what kind of advice do you have for someone that wants to be successful? Like, what can they expect? And what kind of work ethic should they put into everything?
Man, yeah, I work 24 hours a day basically. I'm always working. You got to see it's different these days. Like back in the day, you could do one thing and you could be fine with it. A lot of people had just one hustle and they was totally fine with it. I remember back in the day when we would go in the studio and make an album. Excuse me, we'd go in the studio and make an album. We'll probably work on it like 2 months, and then we'll be free the rest of the year. Just sit at the house and barbecue and drink beer and just fucking relax. But
Yeah.
these days you'll see big musicians working round the clock, because you just got to feed them more these days. Me, I tend not to really work around the clock in music no more because I'm kind of wore out on it. So I more work around the clock with different things. But yeah, to answer your question, man, you gotta put 150% into anything you're trying to do these days because it's with the internet and all that, it's a million people can be seen doing the same thing that you do.
Yeah.
Like podcasts or whatever. Like it's a million people got them. With rap, it's good, a trillion people doing it. And these people, it's everybody can be seen. Can be seen at this point. So the consumers got a bigger variety than they did back in the day. I remember back in the day when it was like you watch MTV Raps or something like that, and it's probably like 10 rappers. you
Yeah.
know, name them. It was just you had your main ones, your Run DMCs and Public Enemies and this and that. it wasn't that many rappers back then. But now, you know, everybody's a rapper, you know. So
Yeah.
and everybody is something. Everybody got, like I said, everybody got a podcast. Everybody does this. Everybody's an artist. Everybody do album covers. Everybody shoot videos.
Yeah.
Everybody, you know.
Yeah.
So I would say focus on one thing that you really think you're good at, and start there. And once you're successful at that, then you could look into spreading out. Because the problem that can happen is you can spread yourself too thin. I do that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm guilty. Spread yourself too thin, you know. But you know, I don't really always practice what I preach, but I tell people what you need to do is just focus on the one task, get that done, and then move on to the other task. Because I know how my ass be. I might be in there working on a beat, and then I get an idea to draw a shirt or something. I start working on a beat and probably draw the shirt, and then I might get an idea of a food recipe or something. Then I might walk in there and start doing that. Now I'm like, oh god damn it, I just threw myself way off.
Yeah. You're just like, wait a minute. What did I do to myself?
I At night because my head be going. It's always thinking of something. You know, it's always running. But you know, I was told that that's what most artists, all artists, are like that.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was about to say because I'm like that too. Like, my mind is always all over the place, and like, you have to like really like take one thing at a time, or like try to organize your days and get certain things done at certain times, kind of thing. Otherwise, you'd be like working on five different things all at once, right? So yeah, it's hard. It's hard to be an artist or a creative mind and then just keep you know getting everything organized and put in place all the time, constantly. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I've been working on being better with all of that. I just read this book. I'm actually gonna go back and read it again, actually, because it's a good book. I just read this book called Atomic Habits.
Oh, I just read that one too.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, that one is good. Like, I just literally finished it and I was like, oh my God, why haven't I read this before? I need it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's one of those ones where you can read it a few times because you know you can learn so much from it, and you might forget, and then it's a good one to freshen up on from time to time. I
Yeah.
probably finished reading it in like November
Hmm.
or December, but I'm gonna go back and read it again actually.
Okay. Yeah.
But
I'm doing,
that book
yeah.
right there helping you in organizing.
Yeah, no, it's like I told you before, I'm doing like 100 books for this year. And like that was one of the books that I read. So I'm like just gonna continue to like read books. Even if you don't end up finishing reading 100 books for that year, it's like you probably end up finishing a lot more books than you would have if you didn't set that kind of goal, right? So yeah, I'm like reading another book called Seed of Your Soul right now with Gary Zukov. So yeah, that one is interesting too. There's a lot of books with like different, aspects of life and all kinds of stuff, but Atomic Habits is really good because it like organizes like literally your whole life. You're just like, oh wow, I needed this, you know. But I'm not gonna keep you here too much longer. Thank you so much for joining my show. And also, if anybody wants to find you or if there's anything else that you want to like promote, like I know you have your merch and everything, where can they find that? Because it's amazing and I love it. I love the merch. I'm like, I need to get some pieces for me. Like, if you could send some over.
Yeah, I seen some stuff. um 36mafiamerch.com. The word three, number six, merch, MERCH .com, man. And it's a lot of stuff on there. It's more than merch, you know. We starting to turn it more into fashion, you
Mhm.
know. So and then I got all my barbecue stuff on there. You can get the barbecue sauces and seasons, and it's all kind of stuff on there, man. So make sure y'all go to 36mafiamerch.com and make sure y'all follow me on Instagram at DJ Paul KOM, Twitter, DJ Paul KOM, Facebook, DJ Paul KOM official. KOM as in King of Memphis. Yeah.
Yeah, and then send me the link so I can put it in the descriptions, and then everybody can follow from there. It would probably be easier to have the links like all in one place, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you so much for joining my show. Woo, we did it.
Yeah. Anytime.
Easy call. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. And anytime you need, I'm here.
All right, thank you so much.